Hey guys, I'm really excited to show you this. I have created a voice agent personal assistant, and this is based on the workflow that we've created previously with Telegram, but this time I've connected it to a webhook which is connected to ElevenLabs so that it responds to me in real time, just like a real personal assistant would, as if it were on the phone. And I'll show you what I mean really quickly with a example. If I go to here and call it.
Hey there, I'm Alexis from ElevenLabs support. How can I help you today?
Hey Alexis, can you just check my emails and see if I have any unread emails? And if I do, just summarize them for me.
Sure, I can help with that, right? I'll just check your emails for you and summarize any unread ones. Alright, I've checked your emails. It looks like you have 4 unread messages, all from Imra. The first email is about baking a chocolate cake today and sorting out a time. The second is about trouble logging into his computer and asking for help. The third email mentions discounts and asks if you're interested in discussing them. Finally, the fourth email is a desperate request for a video call, asking for your next availability. Is there anything else I can help you with regarding these emails, or anything else for that matter?
Yeah, can you just put in a calendar meeting then for, Imra? If I have space, that is like, let's do maybe 5 p.m. tomorrow.
Okay, I can definitely help with that. So you'd like to schedule a calendar meeting with Imra for tomorrow at 5 p.m., assuming you have availability, right? Great. I've scheduled a meeting with Imre for tomorrow at 5 p.m. I've also provided a link for you to view the event in your calendar. Is there anything else I can assist you with today?
No, that's all. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Is there anything else I
Okay, and there you have it. So there was a really quick example of how it would work. It's very basic, but of course, it's quite there's a lot of opportunity here. So before we get into how I've done this exactly, let me just say everything is on my school community. So please make sure you check it out. And if you want to download this JSON workflow, it will be a lot easier to follow using that. Otherwise, you can set up using this video from scratch as well. Okay, let's get into it. So to start with, I have a webhook, and what I'm not going to do, by the way, is go into the details of these, because these I went through in the last video, and all it is discussing about when to bring when the AI needs to call each of these tools. Okay, and these are very simply set up, and I won't go into too much detail on those. But the webhook is where the important things happen. And so rather than the input being from Telegram, this time we've done it with ElevenLabs agent, and we have a webhook trigger. Now at the moment, because it's in test mode, we have a test URL here. And if we were to put it into production, it will turn into a production URL. And that's just something that you need to keep an eye on when connecting it to ElevenLabs. So the first thing to do is actually go to ElevenLabs and set up an account here. Once you're in here, make sure you select 11 agents and then on the agent tab here. So I've created one already, but if you start with a new agent, you can actually start either with a blank agent or you can start with support agent, personal assistant, etc. like here and here. I'm not going to go, well, in fact, let me start one from scratch and then I'll show you how it works. So if we set up a personal assistant and the agent name is Steve. And the main goal of this agent is going to be to act as a personal assistant. And I am just going to copy the prompts that I've used for my previous one. And what we're trying to do in this prompt is define, let's say Steve. Well, in fact, let me choose a woman's name because I think the voice is woman. So Mary. Basically, what we want to do is give it a very clear set of rules of how to act and how to behave and what its roles are. So I've said you are Mary, a warm, sharp, and highly capable personal assistant. You are helping the user manage their calendar, emails, reminders, tasks, blah, blah, blah. Speak naturally, conversationally friendly. All of this, all of this. So, like I've just done, the easiest way, if you want something working quickly, is to ask ChatGPT for a prompt and to make sure that you have defined the broader personality of your personal assistant. But of course, if you're going to use this in a real case scenario, you want to pay a lot more attention to it. So let's create this agent. Okay, so we have this agent here, and we have just done the system prompt. Put it as a default personality, fine. I can see here it's going to be Eric, the name. So I'm going to say this is Eric. Well, this is the voice, but let's just be consistent. And the LLM that I'm using is Gemini 2.5 Flash. You can try different ones. I guess they all have certain what do you call price differences, and according to how well they perform. And then this temperature, this is how we decide how consistent the response of the LLM is going to be. So with something like a personal assistant, I'm going to put it around 0.5 because it's always nice to have a little bit more variety in the conversation. But if I was going to use it as like a chatbot for policies or something like this that will look at a documentation and give me results on this, then I want to make sure that it's much more deterministic. And we can limit the token usage, etc., etc. So for now, we're going to leave this as it is and just change the temperature. The first message you want to put in is, again, I'm going to change this to Eric. It's just what it first tells you. Otherwise, you're going to have to start the call and start talking without any input. Okay, so now we're going to go to tools and we're going to just select what we want to include. And this is where we create the webhook. And I've created one previously, so I'm just going to add this, but I'll go through exactly what we have to do here. So select your name of the tool and then describe what this tool is going to be used for. So this is the webhook that is going to be put into n8n, and it's going to have access to all the tools that I supply it. So things like the calendar and the Gmail, which you can see here. Where are we? Calendar and Gmail. So one thing to note is that this is where you want to put in that webhook URL that we see in n8n. So the method is post because we're sending it information, and then the URL you select will be this one. And this is what's going to change if we go into production. So just keep that in mind when you're using this. The response time, so how long to wait for the client tool to respond before timing out, 20 seconds. So this you can change. And there is all sorts of different parameters that you can configure. The one thing that we need to do is this body parameters. So we need to make sure you put in the description what the aim of this LLM is going to be used for. So I've put in, ask the user what they want to do with the personal admin, whether they want to set up a calendar meeting or send an email, because at the moment, these are the only tools available to it. And here you want to set up this as a parameter. So what we're going to see here is when we go back into n8n and we see the execution, the prompt that comes into n8n will be in a question, will have the title of question. And the description of this is just question from user. And if you want to add more things, so like if you want to get certain bits of information from the user, so I don't know, if you're going to have a receptionist, you're going to perhaps want to have a date of booking an appointment, and perhaps their availability times, etc., etc. You would have to add properties here and here. So you can continue adding these properties. But for this example, we only need one, and that is the question from the user. And that is it. So that is the only thing that we're going to change in this tools section. And that's basically it. So all in all, we've now set up this ElevenLabs agent. If we go back into n8n to see how it's configured, so everything here is the same as the one from Telegram. So just go into it very quickly. This is like this because it gets the date from the AI on the run. So as soon as you start talking to it, this will actually turn green. And oh, perhaps because I've run this previously, you can see actually the question here. So the question comes in as question, and this is what we just saw when we're looking at the parameter as question here. And I've just dragged and dropped this question into the user prompt right here. And here I have ensured that I've prompted the AI assistant within n8n to know what it's going to do with this question. So this is exactly the same as previously. I basically told it what to do with the email tool, with the calendar tool, and the contact details that I have provided it here. Everything else stays the same. And then we have a respond to webhook with first incoming item. This is just going to be the output of the assistant, AI assistant. And that's it. So if we want to preview, if we want to test it out, we just need to click preview here. And we want to make sure that we're executing this workflow. Otherwise, it won't have, it's at the moment, it's not waiting for that trigger. So we need to make sure that we trigger it like this. And then if we call it.
Hi, I'm Eric, here to help you stay organized and on top of your day. What's on your mind?
Hey, Eric, can you just check I've got nothing in my calendar tomorrow?
Checking your calendar for tomorrow. It looks like you have a meeting with Imra tomorrow.
Cool, thanks, Eric. And so that is it. So super easy to set up and a really basic example, but I hope you see that it's actually quite exciting that you can actually have a real-time response. And I mean, things that you can do with this is set up a real personal agent for your business, have it access the calendar, make it, give it the responsibility of taking in calls and appointments. So you no longer need to pick up the phone anymore and it can just deal with this for you. In ElevenLabs as well, you can even, if we go into it, you have a lot of things you can configure, but for example, you can transfer to agent, transfer to number. So this can be almost like the first line of interaction with your customer. And then you can always transfer to agent or number or another direction if needed. I hope this was useful. Let me know in the comments if you have any. Otherwise, check out the school community to actually get this JSON workflow.